I'm constantly changing my website, man. Constantly
Brilliant,
doing it.
brilliant.
And less over the last year that I've become, like what you said, I've become much more clear on who I am and what I do and the business model that I operate from. And it's changed a lot less since then. And also the benefit of honing in on that one specific thing is when you're focusing on the logos and the stationery and everything else that go along with what you were doing as a designer, because the reality is, even if I asked you to create a logo for me, you could probably do a damn good job at doing so, better than most other people could do. But you would say no to that project because it's not in your zone of genius, right? It's not in the lane that you've decided to go down. And for those listening, ask yourself, what is your current zone of genius? Like when others ask you to do things that you're good at, what would you say no to because it's not the lane that you've decided to go down? And what is that lane that you're going to decide to go down? Because it frees up your focus. It makes you happier at what you do, but then it makes you a master at the one lane that you've decided to go down. So you perform that one piece of work and others look at it and they're like, oh my God, how could this person possibly be as good at this thing as they are? But it's because you focused and you've decided to master that. It's a mindset of mastery. Yeah. So I want to talk about your unique model because you have a membership model for websites. And there's people listening right now, just to set the stage, who don't have a website, right? They don't know where to begin. They think that starting a website is going to cost them $5,000 to $10,000, right? We're in the US, so we'll use dollars, not pounds, right? And it's what you do is very unique. So I'm curious, the question I'll ask you to begin here is, who is a website for, Tom? Like, is there anyone that you say, oh, you don't need a website? Or like, who is a website perfect for?
That's a good question. I think I would answer that by saying it depends, which is what quite a lot of questions lead to. I think it depends on the business, depends on the type of business, particularly depends on the sector they're working in. There's websites and there's websites. There's lots and lots of different websites. So even though, like you say, I've focused on just websites, I've then niched down further to say, look, I don't do e-commerce websites, I don't do online shops, I don't do online training sites, I don't do online membership sites. What I do is lead generating websites for service-based businesses. So super, super focused. And going back to what you mentioned previously, you're absolutely right. By doing one thing and doing it really well, it means that I can then focus on that 100%. I know service-based businesses inside out, and I know their customers inside out. I know the lead generation techniques for them inside out. You asked me a question about e-commerce. Yes, I know a little bit, but I'm not your man. And it means that then, that whole new client kind of acquisition process is super simple. Because it's either, yes, I'm perfect for you, or sorry, I'm not your man.
Yeah.
And it makes that conversation. And also it means that my website, half the time, I don't even get the phone calls from people looking for an expert in Magento or whatever it may be, because they look at my website and go, oh, he's not the guy for me.
Yeah.
And I love that, because it means then hopefully they can go and find someone who is,
I'm curious, how often when you work with somebody to create a website, especially service-based businesses who say, Tom, I really need customers. This is the income goal I want to reach. This is the amount of leads I need to get there. So they've done the basic math, which a lot of entrepreneurs and especially coaches out there just haven't done, right? How often do you encounter when you're putting this website together or doing the consultation with the person that there's no offer there, right? There's no offer. There's no clear product. Like, how often are you saying to this person, because now this is also out of what you're most likely willing to do, right? Because that's a whole separate beast of helping someone create an offer. I see a lot of people, and the point is, I see a lot of people who create the website, get all the things, the business cards, all of that, the logos, but they don't even know what the hell they're selling. They don't even know what their product is. So how often do you see that? And what do you then say to those people?
Do you know what? I see that a fair bit. The biggest one for me is when you say offer, I see two offers. I see the offer from the business, as in, okay, what do you want me to pay you money for? But in terms of lead generation, I see the offer on the website, and I see those are two different things.
What's the difference between those two things?
So if for example you've got a I've got a client that does joinery, carpentry. They work with wood. that's their offer, and it's very much a bespoke service. So their offer isn't fantastic in that they don't have fixed prices, they don't have set products, they don't, you know, that you want something made in wood, they will make it for you. But the offer at the front end of the website is very much right. What steps are you going to offer me in order for me to get in touch? How are you going to encourage me to get in touch? So I'll give you an example. There was a you know, I run website workshops, and there was a lady there who had a number of hair salons, you know, hairdressers, and she came along, and I explained to her, look, you know, it's all very well having a great website, it needs to get found, all of that sort of stuff. You need to make a great impression, but the key part, the last step that so many people miss, is when you present them with an offer. Right, this is like a free website review, or a free consultation, or a free ebook, or whatever it may be, you know, that free thing where you're like, okay, I was on the fence, but yes, I'm going to get in touch. She said to me, yeah, I get it, but we haven't really got anything we can offer. And I said to her, well, you know, do you offer coffee in your salons? And she was like, yes, it's the best coffee. We've got amazing espresso machines. Like, right, okay. So how about if you had something on your website that said, book an appointment to meet your stylist in person, have a tour of the salon, and get a free cup of coffee.
Cool.
She's like, yeah, we could do that. And I'm like, there you go. Like, that's an offer that you could put on the website that would hopefully encourage someone when they're there on the website, rather than expecting someone to pick up the phone. That's something where it's like, oh, cool. I want to tour your salon. I want to see all the nuts and bolts. I want to meet my stylist to see whether I like her or him. And I want that free cup of coffee. You know, that's something worth signing up for.